Niantic has dropped all the info regarding the content coming to Pokemon Go in the month of November, and I'm going to be going over all of it in today's video. Let's get right into it. Alright, what's happening everyone? Count Jinsula here with a brand new Pokemon Go video. I hope your Monday evening is going really well, and let's get right into it. So, we have some information regarding what's coming to Pokemon Go in the month of November, and of course, this is the month we're going to be getting the Wild Area event, so we already know it's going to be a pretty big month. But there's a lot of other good things happening in the month of November that you will want to pay attention to, and a lot of it has to do with Dynamax battles. So let's go over everything that you need to know regarding the month of November, and then afterwards, let me share some of my thoughts. The featured Pokemon for the month of November is going to be Dynamax Eevee, Mega Tyranitar, Dynamax Toxtricity Amped form, as well as Dynamax Toxtricity Low-Key form. Now, among all of these, I think the big standout is, of course, Mega Tyranitar, mainly because that is one of those Mega Evolutions that is actually incredibly useful. And then on top of that, Dynamax Toxtricity is one that was introduced with the Wild Area event last year, but the one thing is, these are the Dynamax forms, not the Gigantamax forms. So unfortunately, if you're looking for the Gigantamax versions of these Pokemon, which are definitely going to be better, you may not necessarily have a chance to get them during this month. Now, first, let's talk about max battles, because of course, when it comes to Toxtricity, those are where you're going to find both of these Pokemon. Now, from November 3rd until November 9th, we're going to have Dynamax Inkay in max battles. Then from the 10th until the 16th, we're going to have Dynamax Routes. That's actually a pretty decent one. And then from the 17th until the 23rd, we're going to have both forms of Toxtricity. And again, these are the Dynamax forms and not the Gigantamax forms. And then from the 24th until the 30th, we're going to have Dynamax Eevee, and I don't know why they listed this because it's going to be in December, but from December 1st until the 7th, we're going to have Dynamax Darumaka. Now in 5-star raids, we're going to see a bunch of different legendary raid bosses making their return. From November 4th until the 11th, we're going to have the legendary beasts, Raikou, Entei, and Suicune in 5-star raids. And then from the 18th until the 25th, we're going to have Heatran. And then from the 25th until December 2nd, we're going to have the Swords of Justice legendaries, Cobalion, Terrakion, and Virizion. And then, coinciding with them in Mega Evolution raids, we're going to have Mega Beedrill, Mega Pinsir, as well as Mega Heracross, the Bug-type Mega Evolutions, from November 4th until November 11th. And then, from November 11th until the 18th, we're going to have Mega Tyranitar and Mega Altaria. That's a pretty big thing because Mega Tyranitar is one of the best Mega Evolutions currently in the game. And then from November 18th until the 25th, we're going to have Mega Ampharos and Mega Manectric. And then from the 25th until December 2nd, we're going to have Mega Aerodactyl, Mega Medicham, as well as Mega Garchomp. And then of course, out of those three, I will say Mega Garchomp is the best one. And then let's talk about the spotlight hours, and this is something I really do think you need to pay attention to. First and foremost, on November 4th, we're going to have a Weedle Spotlight Hour with a 2x Transfer Candy bonus, and then on November 11th, we're going to have a Spotlight Hour featuring Morlul with a 2x Evolution Experience bonus, and then on November 18th, keep this one in mind, we're going to have one with Sableye with a 2x Catch Stardust bonus. And then on November 25th, we're going to have a Spotlight Hour featuring Scraggy with a 2x Catch Experience bonus. And I really do think out of these four, Sableye is the big standout, and we'll talk more about that one later. And then let's go over all of the events happening in the month of November. From November 4th until November 9th, we're going to have the Enchanted Hollow event. And then from the 10th until the 14th, we are of course going to have the Into the Wild event, which is the lead-up event to the Wild Area event. And of course, that event is going to be happening from November 15th until the 16th. And then from November 18th until the 22nd, we're going to have the High Voltage event. And then from the 21st to 24th, we're going to have a Dynamax Max Battle Weekend. And then from the 25th until the 30th, we're going to have a Final Justice event, and I'm assuming that's going to be themed around the Swords of Justice Pokemon, and it's probably going to be a fighting type event. And then from the 29th until the 30th, we're going to have another Max Battle Weekend, and then on November 30th, we're going to have our November Community Day. And then these are going to be the raid hours, and of course they're in conjunction with what's going to be in raids. On November 5th, we're going to have Raikou, Entei, and Suicune getting a raid hour, and then on November 19th, we're going to have a raid hour featuring Heatran, and then on November 26th, we're going to have a raid hour featuring Cobalion, Terrakion, and Virizion. And then appearing in Shadow Legendary raids during this month, we're going to have Shadow Latios, and it's going to be on the weekends from November 2nd until December 2nd. Alright, so a lot of this stuff we already kind of knew about, mainly because it's all tied to the Wild Area event. But one thing I will want to point out is that we're getting a Spotlight Hour featuring Sableye, and it's going to be a double Stardust Spotlight Hour. That is actually pretty insane because, in case you didn't know, Sableye does give you bonus Stardust innately, so having a 2x Stardust bonus on top of that means you're going to come out with an insane amount of Stardust. So that is definitely one of the big highlights, and of course we also have the Wild Area event itself. This is going to be a very busy month. I think it's going to be filled with a lot of really good content, and for a lot of people who are really big on Dynamax content, there is of course plenty of stuff to do. But I do think the raiding content is also really good. I like the fact that Mega Tyranitar is going to be back, mainly because that's one of the best Mega Evolutions currently in the game. And just in general, it just seems like it's going to be fun. So yeah, I think November is a huge win, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. But in any case, that's going to be it for this video. Definitely share your thoughts regarding everything that I talked about down below. Is there something in particular within the month of November that you're looking forward to? Definitely share what that is, and let's have a great discussion. And thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if it's your first time here, and don't forget the notification bell so you know exactly when I upload videos. And real quick, let me give a shout out to all of my patrons on Patreon. You make this channel content possible. If you want to support the Jinsula channel, the best way you can do that is going to be by joining my Patreon. And if you decide to become a paid Patreon member, I'm actually going to add you to my Pokemon Go friends list. So that means for stuff like remote raids, the friendship system, opening and sending gifts, different things like that. If you want to play Pokemon Go with me, then make sure you go and check out my Patreon. I'll put a link to it in the description below. And if you want to support my channel in a completely different way, you could do so by following me on social media. My handle is @Jinsula. I'm on the platforms you see right now on the bottom of your screen right over here. Make sure you go over there and give me a follow. That'll be a huge help as well. And you'll have access to some exclusive content. And with all that said, that's going to be it for this video. Be safe, have fun, love yourself today. Make sure you look in the mirror, tell yourself that you're awesome, because I think you're awesome, and I'll catch you all later.